Welcome to some new r/malicious compliance stories, where people comply to the letter but not the spirit of a request. I hope you had a great day. The first story is called Do Your Job. I'm an assistant manager who works in the medical field. We have a patient that requires referrals to get treatment with us for some permanent injuries that require ongoing care for pain management. The doctor's office that manages his case is really bad about communicating with us. I often had to call them several times, starting several weeks ahead of time, to make sure that his next referral would be in place and ready to go, so he had no gaps in his treatment. I have been doing this for him for over 2 years now. A few weeks ago, he comes in, already in a foul mood. The person that is doing his treatment comes in the door right on time, sets her stuff down and gets him started about a minute and a half after the start time of his appointment. When the appointment finishes, I can hear him yell at her. I was in the back of our office, about 100 yards away. He was yelling at her for being late and shorting him on treatment time. This was untrue. She had actually given him just short of an extra 5 minutes since she didn't have another person right after him. So I went back to try to calm him down. He screamed at both of us for about 10 minutes and then he started to get in my face. At that point, we both just start walking away from him, her to the back and me to the front. He follows me, screaming at me about how I need to do my job and make sure his referrals are ready to go and that I'm not doing my job. He finally leaves. This was the third incident like this. A few weeks go by and he continues to come in. He never apologized to either of us for his behavior. Today I got to inform him that he is out of visits and there is no new referral in place. He asks what the issue is. I calmly tell him that I have simply been doing my job, which is to receive the referral, schedule the treatment and inform the referring office after the final visit has been used. It is not my job to stay on top of his doctor's office and make sure they do their job. I let him know, since he was so insistent about it, that this is what I will be doing from now on. If he has issues with how his doctor's office was managing his referrals, he would need to speak to them about it. He left without saying anything. The next story is called Get Out. I used to work at a bar as the only female security. They'd had some very bad things happen when a man followed a woman to the bathroom, so they needed a woman that could keep an eye on what happened in there. This bar got in legal trouble all the time. The bathroom thing, fire marshal closing them on some busy weekend nights for being way over capacity. The liquor board had pulled their license once already for over-serving and other stuff. I was one of the new security people hired to help resolve all of this. It was so bad we had to be trained by a government person and get a card to prove we know how to spot and stop overserves and spot fake IDs. I think the real reason they hired us was to have scapegoats on the ready for the next time they did this. I worked there a while, doing my best. The owner's wife was the worst. She was always drunk, always had her friends in the bar and bent the rules for them. She thought she was Lady Jesus and we should all be kissing her feet because she was the owner's wife. I mostly stayed out of her way and had no issues, but many coworkers complained about her. One night, some dude gets sick on the way to the bathroom. I cut him off. He ends up getting escorted out by his less strong friends. I notice a man sitting at the bar watching this. He had creased slacks, a jacket indoors on a summer night and no drinks in his hand at a busy meat market dance club. I started watching him and noticed the badge under his jacket. He was here to watch for overserving. A little later, a woman came to the bathroom, drunk enough to need to hold onto the wall for dear life. I cut her off. She screams at me, then goes into the bathroom and tries to wash off the giant black Sharpie X's from the back of both hands. I warn her that she will be kicked out of the club if she continues. She screams again and staggers out of the bathroom. About 5 minutes later, the owner's wife is in my face, screaming. The woman I had cut off was one of her friends, attending a bachelorette party in the VIP section, and I was supposed to somehow magically know she was VIP. I was also, apparently, supposed to break the law for her because she was VIP. So she and I start a screaming match, where I inform her that her husband had hired me to make sure the law was followed. I also started to inform her about the police officer at the bar, but she screamed in my face to shut up and get out of my bar. She fired me on the spot. I didn't bother waiting to see if her husband agreed. It was known she wore the pants. I complied. I shut my mouth and got out of her bar. I walked past the cop, still sitting at the end of the bar near the bathrooms, where the screaming match had taken place. I made eye contact with him, gave a slight nod, to which he responded by looking at the boss's wife, rolling his eyes and smiling at me as I left. They got shut down that night for over-serving the bachelorette party. This time they went out of business because of too many strikes against them. The last story is called First Come, First Serve. My family recently took our summer vacation touring several national parks in the western US. One of these parks offered a covered wagon ride out to a remote location, where they would serve up an Old West cowboy dinner. I thought to myself that this would be so great. My family will love this. I made reservations for our family of 4 to eat like the cowboys of the Old West did. As we drove out to the stable, we noticed the skies were getting grey. We parked and checked in along with 100-ish other hungry diners. We asked the person at the window about the rain policy, and they said that they want rain or shine. Their wagons are covered, and they have a covered pavilion to eat your authentic cowboy meal under. We gathered some rain gear from the truck and moved to the gathering point. They have several covered wagons parked in a row to make the trip. It starts to rain even before we get to board the wagons. But it's all good, we have our rain gear on. We eventually board one of the last wagons and head out to our destination as a wagon train. We take in the sights as it starts raining harder. After about a 30-minute ride to the pavilion, we offload and make a dash for the pavilion. But hold up, the dinner bell starts to ring just as we are going by the serving area. So we detour in there and grab our dinner plates. My mouth is watering as we head to the pavilion where the picnic tables are. Well, wouldn't you know it, there aren't enough tables for all the guests to eat undercover. All the first wagon riders had someone put their dips on the tables. Even though they are gonna have to wait several minutes for the people to return with their food. We round to a few tables and people won't budge. These seats are taken. There was a staff member who saw this and politely asked if anybody would move. Not a single table would make room. The staff member turned to us and said, "I'm sorry, but the seats are first come, first serve." So we take our half-soggy steak dinners out to a table that's under a tree and try and wolf it down. We were eating what we could before the meal became totally soaked. Then I spied the fire pit, where the staff was huddled on one side trying to keep warm and serving up cowboy coffee. So we moved over to the stumps circling the fire pit to get warmer and finished our soggy dinners. We purposely spread out as to effectively block the entire site that wasn't being used by the staff. It had stopped raining by now. The other guests started to filter out from under the pavilion to get warm around the fire. I hear people behind us whispering amongst themselves that they can feel the fire that far back. I start commenting to my significant other how warm the fire is and how the cowboy coffee really warms you up quickly. A few more minutes go by and I hear one person passive-aggressively asking if the people up front are going to move to allow other people to get warm. I tell my significant other that it was too bad that nobody made room under the cover for us to eat, so we are going to enjoy our first come first served seats by the fire. Karma can work quickly sometimes. And with that, we end today's video. Let me know what you think about the stories. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate the stories and today's video? I hope you enjoyed the video. If you like what I do and want to support me, please subscribe and hit the like button. I hope you have a great day. Stay safe. Bye bye.